The Lead. Sponsored by Hospital Discount Pharmacy, Lavish Boutique, Lavish Coffee, Jasper Veterinary Clinic, Jasper Bone and Joint, and Carl Cannon Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Greg Tinker with The Lead, and I'm honored today to have the Jasper Viking basketball coach, Heath Burns. Coach Burns, welcome to the set today.
Thank you, Coach. It's great to be here. It's great to be here on a Wednesday. Get vacation next week, so dead week, but it's vacation week for me. So going to the beach, man. So I'm happy. It's Wednesday, but I'm also happy that I'm getting closer to Saturday. So
right.
Let's go to the beach.
So 1 week off a year, right? Pretty much. That's the way it works.
That's right.
A lot of folks don't understand that now with year-round sports, but really you don't get much time off. And one thing about coaching basketball that a lot of people don't consider unless they've done it is you're practicing through all of the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, so there's no break. There's no time off.
No, there really isn't. It's not like, we talk about a lot like it was back in the 80s and late 80s, early 90s. Summer, you played baseball in the summer. You had all-stars in the summer, and then you swam. You had a lot of fun in the summer. But now it's like, if you want to compete, you got to play. You got to practice. And the guys, they don't have many days off.
Right.
If they have a day off, it's lifting day. And that's a day off for these guys. The days that we lift or we're on the Vertimax. So it's tough now. It's doing something year round. It's tough on you as a person, as a coach, but it's also tough on the kids. And you have to think about both, and sometimes you have to kind of equal them out, where you kind of maintain a balance with both, where you don't wear your mind and your body out. And I think we've almost wore both of those out on myself this summer. So.
Well, let's talk about last season, your first season here in Jasper, long-time coaching career, but first in Jasper. Reflect on that a little bit. Your first year coming in and establishing yourself here and getting buy-in from the team. Sort of sum that up if you can.
Well, it was a wonderful season, Coach. It really was. The support that we got was amazing. Just the people were amazing in the community, but our kids were outstanding all year. The effort was, we asked that when we came in, there was these things, that these pillars of kind of our, the foundation of our program we're going to be built on was maximum effort, and we thought that they gave that every day. You saw that in games when we were down 20, up 20. You still saw maximum effort. We saw it in practice when it was rough, but selfless, and being selfless is something that's kind of tough today in today's world, where you got kids getting pulled every which way, and you teach one thing here and they go home, or they go here or there and they hear it from their trainer or whatever they are. There's so many of those guys today, but our guys chose to be selfless, and I thought that had a big part of our being special this past season. Also, continuous growth. We thought that we want to be a better person each day, a better player, just get 1% better each day. And I thought our guys, they. Even though it might not have looked like it some nights, we got better in some way, I thought, each day. And that made us extremely happy. But if you have those three things in order, we thought fearless was that fourth pillar, and we're not scared of anything. Our guys, that's one thing I think our guys they'll stand up to any challenge, and that doesn't matter if it's on the floor, if it's in life, whatever it is. Our guys are fearless, and they're competitors, and we're extremely happy with our kids and with their ability to go into a battle and have no fear. So that's one thing that, some teams play out of fear. Our kids, they don't.
Well, one thing that did happen last season is there was a lot of excitement generated by both boys and girls basketball, because both of you guys were very successful. And so the gym was packed on several occasions, which was a big deal for Jasper High School.
It was. Like I said, our fans are fantastic. I think we got the best environment in the state, and I think that's generated a lot by our kids. But I can't say enough about our administration and our Board of Education. They're so good. Dr. Jackson's amazing. She's just an amazing person. She doesn't say no much, but if she does, she means no, you know.
Right.
Coach Jordan, Jonathan Allen, Miss Crump, I mean, I could go on and on. Everybody's been wonderful, but the fans have been amazing. And like I said, Coach Jordan, his ideas are next level ideas. He's not, he shouldn't be in high school. He should be in the SEC school somewhere, because a lot of the things he come up with, like turning the lights out, coming down through the student section with the cell phones on, that was his idea. You know, so it makes me look, a dumb guy look smart, but it wasn't my idea. None of this was my idea. So he generates a lot of that excitement, but our student section was amazing. But you know, I think a lot of it's got to do with the way our kids play. Absolutely. Our boys and girls, man, their effort. Kids, you know, that play hard and they're gritty. Communities rally around those guys, no matter their record. That you know, we want to reflect our community in a positive way, and I think we reflected our community in a way that they work every day. You know, we're gritty, blue collar kids that, you know, put our hard hat on and we just go to work, man.
Yeah.
Love these guys.
Well, you've been coaching now. What year will this be for you?
26.
Okay.
Just finished 25.
So, started out at Townley Junior High School a few years ago, and worked your way through the ranks. So if you reflect on your life as a coach, how are you different now than maybe you were then? Obviously, you've been successful at every level. You were there, you were at Maddox, and then as you moved on to Dora and Parrish and Cordova, everywhere you've been, Hueytown, you've been successful. But just as you think about that, what has this Coach Burns learned that he might have said to the younger Coach Burns?
I think I would have told myself to calm down. You know, I've got some assistant coaches that played for me, and which is excellent, by the way. They're awesome. Ronnie Driver and JoJo Walls are excellent coaches. But they can't believe how calm I am now, and they tell our guys that y'all just don't get it. Y'all think he's mean. Like, no, like he's being really nice. Like, this guy is so calm now. So I think if I could tell myself something, I'd say, hey man, calm down, it's relax. You know, the kids they're gonna eventually play, but you just keep coaching, you know, and kids buy into what you put out there, that when they see that you're grinding with them, when they see that, but they don't wanna know how much you know, they wanna know how much you care. And I think that's something that I've always kind of show my kids, that I care, and in turn, I think we've been able to get the best out of our kids. So I think if I'd have calmed down more, I wouldn't be the jerk that I seem to be today. But I'm really not a jerk. You know, my wife even says I'm nicer. Now, I don't know if she means it, but, you know, but I've calmed down so much. My blood pressure is better. But I know this, you know, I reflect, I look back, and I just think, man, you know, what if, you know, I would have put my priorities in line then? What if I would have, you know, we always had that in our life. We always, you know, we're flesh. We make mistakes, and I just wish I would have been as, I don't know if smart, but as knowledgeable as I am about life now. When you put the Lord first in your life, and you think you do, but when you really do, it's two different things. And I just wish I could go back and tell that guy that, but I can't. So all I can do now is kind of rewrite a lot of wrongs, and, you know, live each day to, you know, to the best of my ability, and try to make something out of nothing sometimes, and try to make my life easier by calming down some. And I think I have.
Well, that ties into coaching philosophy, because that develops over a period of time, and you've already sort of delved into that. But you know, if you're talking to another person who, and we're sort of doing that now, but I'm saying if somebody comes to you and says, I'm a young coach, I'm starting out, and I've heard all this talk about, you know, coaching philosophy, I don't really know what that means. Can you help me understand what that means? What is a coaching philosophy? And if you had to sum yours up maybe in 2 or 3 different ways, what would you say, if you distill everything to 2 or 3 essentials, what would those be?
Well, you know, we all talk about championships. Everybody wants to know how to win a championship, and I was blessed to be able to do that. But to be able to do that, I think you got to have a championship culture. All right, everybody thinks championship culture just happens overnight. That's not true. One, build championship people. And that's something that we've been able to establish here, and it's been a lot easier here because you've got so much support. You know, the FCA is wonderful. Ricky Bowen, golly, and we lost him. I don't know what I'm going to do without Ricky this year, but man, he was an amazing person. A big part of the success that we had was due to him, man, because that's what kind of made us special, the love that we have for each other. But building championship people makes building the championship culture easier, you know, and that's the things like we talked about, being selfless, maximum effort, continuous growth, being fearless. So culture, you know, is great, but you got to have the championship people in line, and then the championships can happen. But you got to have those in line. If you don't have the people, the culture, the championships can't happen.
Sure.
So building championship people, I think, would be the first thing I would say, and I'd say, hey, man, with that, the culture can come along, and then with that, then you can start looking at the next step as far as advancing into championship type teams.
So every day you go to practice, you're saying something to your kids every day. What are they going to hear you repeat? What kinds of things do you want them to walk away every day with, and at the end of the season, and when they graduate, you know, what do you want them to carry with them that Coach Burns has said maybe every day, but maybe not every day, but frequently? What's something that you repeat to them that you want them to take with them?
Effort and truth. You know, today the truth will get you in trouble sometimes. But I think the truth is so key to life. You know, it might make someone mad, it might hurt someone's feelings, but the truth is something that we're about. Because we can't get better without the truth.
Yeah.
And that's something kids can't handle these days. It's something parents can't handle sometimes. But at least they know where you stand. Being truthful is something I think that they say I'm a little bit too truthful at times. They cut jokes a little bit, but I think that's one. I think effort's something they know. Energy and effort is something they better have. They better show it every day. And you know, I look at my guys every day. I see a smile, and I'll just say, hey man, why are you smiling today? He said, and this is yesterday. John Luke Walker says, he said, I'm here. I get to practice. I get to get better. So I mean, things like that's those kind of things stick with me now.
Sure.
Not the dunk, not the flashy play, but the character. The character of our guys is amazing. I want these guys to remember me as a guy of character, a guy of truth, and a guy that gave effort. Gave his best every day.
So you've had a lot of success. We've already talked about that. You've taken teams to the Final Four. You've won the big one. And I don't know if you've had more than one losing season in your entire career. I mean, you know that better than me. I can only think of one. And so you've won a lot of games. So in that stretch, now moving into your 26th year, there's bound to be things that stand out. So one or two of those things that when you think back on it brought you great joy, whatever that may happen to be.
You put me on the spot.
And I know that's asking a lot, because when you've coached 25 years and you've been to the Final Four as many times as you have and won a championship, and you could talk 3 or 4 hours on that, I know.
I could, but you know, obviously that first Final Four was special, with a great group of guys at door. That was an awesome opportunity. But you know, if you don't lose, you don't get better. And I'll never forget losing in the area championship to Fayette, and they were really good at that time. This is when I was at Dora. And JoJo Walls, Ronnie Driver was on that team. They were both my assistant coaches, but we talk about that a lot. But those guys decided at that moment, hey, we're not losing again. We are not losing again. And practice was different. Everything was different. Like, they brought championship effort every day. So I think that team losing and then getting to play them Fayette again in the Elite Eight to win that game and double overtime with a tip in with a guy that didn't score but twice was huge, you know, and then beating Ramsey in the Final Four at the buzzer with another tap in that had nothing to do with my coaching. I could say I drew that up, but I didn't draw that up. You know, those guys just played, man. Another tip in, Michael Swain tipped one at the buzzer. That was huge. And then getting to the finals, that was a big year. So that was one big moment, you know. But, you know, golly, we had so many good teams. That Paris team was good that went to the finals. But, you know, winning it in 2018, that was special. That was a team that shouldn't have won it. You know, you look back over that stretch of 5 years, like, golly, man, those were some dudes that come through there. You know, there was some Division I football, Division I basketball. I got a couple of guys that are still playing Division I basketball, you know. So that was a great team. But I don't know, you know, some people ask me, who is your best team? It's got to be that team. You know, they won it.
Sure.
All right, so did they have better players in this team? Maybe not, maybe not. But they knew, all right, the basketball better than be in these guys' hands. And it's hard to say now, hey, man, you don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. But those guys, you didn't have to say don't shoot to, all right? Because 2 or 3 of them knew, hey, those are our dudes. We're getting our dudes the ball, you know? So our guys knew their role, and, you know, their roles were cut out. They were definitive. They knew it from day one. And they were all in. We can say all in, but I'll never forget the first day of practice, Demetrius Kirk, our point guard, who was huge in the championship game, when Isaac got in foul trouble, he said, Coach, I don't care. He said, whatever it takes. And those 3, whatever it takes, we're in, whatever it takes. And I said, well, it's going to take a lot, man, because this ain't the team, man. Look around. This is not 11 dudes like we've had. This is 2.5, like, and you're the half. Let's go, man. We got to do something. He's, Coach, I'm all in. I'll get these guys all in. And by God, he got them all in. They were all in. And then, you know, I remember in the media room they were saying, Coach, how are you going to guard that 5 out that Madison Academy runs? Because you guys just play man. I said, well, that's easy, 5 in. I said, what do you mean? I said, well, we're going to go 5 in. We're going to stay inside. We're not going to get back cut. So did we get back cut? Yeah, we did. But Isaac Chapman, Jace Willingham, or Demetrius Kirk was sitting there waiting when they did get back cut. So those guys, those 3 seniors, I can sit here and talk about all these great players that I've had, but those 3 seniors, man, they're special. They're amazing people, but they were great players, and they had their brothers back. You know, they just, you know, they won it, but they were selfless. Maximum effort was there every day. I mean, everything we've talked about. Fearless, you know, being down. We were down the entire game, you know, and never a moment I didn't think. I always thought we were going to win. Sure. You know, within 10 at half, you know, and Isaac's in foul trouble. He doesn't play but 2 minutes in the first half. That's okay. He gets another foul in the third quarter. We're still within 10. That's okay, because he's coming in at some point. And when he came in, it just flowed so well, and Jace Willingham was fantastic. So that team winning, it got the monkey off my back, because we had been there so many times and not won it. So I remember a lot of my coaching friends, and you know, you don't have many coaching friends in the business. You have acquaintances that say they're your friend, you know. But I remember a lot of those guys there. You know, there were a lot of tears shed. You know, you guys, you know how special you are to me, and I don't know. I just that's a special, and the coaching atmosphere in the coaching world, that was a special moment.
And for those who have been privileged to participate in something like that, whether it's going all the way, winning the championship, but just to watch a team work together and to do the things that they've been coached to do. A lot of folks don't understand what a thing of beauty that is. And to see them do it together, enjoy doing it together, and that's what you're describing. You're describing guys who sell out to each other, to the coach, to the community, and then when you get the privilege of watching that mesh, there's not much like that in life when that comes together that way. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. It's synergy. That word I make my kids define at basketball camp every year. We talk about it a lot, but you don't see synergy a lot, you know. And you know, when you get 2 to play together is wonderful. When you get 11, and they're all in. Like it's an amazing thing to watch, but you can sit back and relax a little bit and enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's what I got. I enjoyed it so much I gained 26 pounds that year, Coach. Everybody was feeding this, man. I didn't know how fat I was till the season was over with, and I saw myself on camera. I said, Katie, why didn't you tell me? Because when you look in the mirror, you're looking straight on, Coach.
Right.
I never looked to my side. Good Lord, I was 254, Coach. 5'9", 254 wasn't good, Coach. So, you know, we had a lot of fun. A lot of people support us, obviously, with food. And with, you know, it was just an amazing time. But there were a lot of people good to us because of the amazing things those guys could do on the floor together. Sure. Because individually, they weren't the best team. They weren't the best group of talent that we had. We've had some amazing, talented kids come through Wall County, but that team, it didn't have that. But it
made it all that much more special.
It did. It did, Coach.
So you've mentioned synergy. Got the team now second year. You played the summer, so evaluate that and give us a little bit of prognostication for what's coming this season.
I think it's going to be another good year. I really do. We had an incredible summer. I mean, if the indicator is what happened this summer, like it's going to be a good year. Like we lost 4 games to 4 really good teams, and at some point we had the lead. And you know, in the summer it's evaluation period. You try to find out who can play. Sure. You know, when you rotate 5 in, 5 out, and that's what we did most of the time. You know, it's hard to. If there's a group, and we took 13 with us, and if there's a group that's a little bit ahead of the other, you know, you go out with a lead, you come out and you don't have the lead, and then a group comes in, you have the lead, and you don't have the lead again. We kind of battled that, and then we got more steady. But we played incredible against Episcopal out of Louisiana, and won by like 26. We beat McAdory, who Coach, when you look at, when they walk in the doors, come our classic here December 18th and 19th, and that's going to be a doozy here that we're hosting. They look like a college team, Coach. If you look at them, they look at us, you think, no way. But we beat them 20-something. I mean, we beat them, I think it was 24. And it was over quick. I mean, our guys just put them away quick. And it was just toughness, gritty. And he just, Ethan Thorne was doing his normal thing. You know, Clayton was doing his normal thing. It was just, it was fun to watch those guys. But we lost to 4 teams. Homewood, Spain Park, Vestavia, and Vestavia, Homewood, Spain Park. I don't know, maybe that's it. Maybe we just lost 3. Anyway, all 3 were good teams, and that we were all with 1 possession. I mean, they all come down to a possession at the end, and it just didn't fall our way. And all 4 were very winnable games, but you don't get trophies in the summer. Right. But you dang sure get better or you get worse. So our summer was wonderful. And it it didn't end yesterday because the last day was yesterday. Tomorrow we're going to the water park. All right, so that's going to be a day of fun, but I don't know how fun it's going to be for me because I know what those guys are going to do. They're going to try to make me get on every ride and slide there. Sure. And knowing me, I'm going to probably take the challenge and do that. So we're going to have fun tomorrow.
Good. So, well, you deserve it after all the work. So you've developed this team, and so they've had a year to run your system. Anything going to change much from what you did last year? Is it going to be pretty much just fine tuning what they already know?
A lot of it's the same. A little tweaks in transition, especially. You're going to see more of a loaded side, and when I say a loaded, an uneven side to a loaded side, where we're playing the numbers game in transition, and it's different, but it's pretty cool because it's there, and our guys haven't got a complete grasp on it yet, but we're getting better. We're going to be there, and it all starts with the one. Our point guard's got to be elite. He's got to be me on the floor, and Clayton has gotten so much better. But we need another one. Every great team that I've been a part of had 2 really good point guards. And, you look at every team in the NBA that wins a championship, or every college team, there's a point guard behind it.
Sure.
And there's usually a guy behind him that can really play, or a guy next to him. And I'd like for it to be a guy next to him that can play the combo. So, getting another guy to play that position is going to be big. But, man, I saw growth from Clayton. I saw growth from Caden Steiner. Ethan Thorne had a great summer. John Luke Walker had a great summer. Cooper Ford. Miller had a great summer. Miller, there were days where he was, coach, I'm telling you, the first 3 games at Birmingham Southern, he was the best player in the gym. He really was. But we're not a team built to play 3 games in one day.
Right. Right.
We got some kids that are just built for 1 game a day.
Right.
So when you play 3, that gets a little tough.
Sure.
So we saw fatigue getting some of our guys, but our guys are going to be fine. John Michael Brown, of course, he's dealing with his injury. He's coming back, but he's supposed to be going through a strenuous PT program. But being John Michael, jumping bean, you can't sit still. He goes out there and you can see he's still got it. Like, he'll shoot a little bit, he'll bounce around a little bit, and so he had a good summer as far as recovering. Mm-hmm. But now, watch him handle the ball every day and shoot every day. He's gotten better. But remember this name, Braylon Johnson. We're expecting big things from Braylon Johnson. He's a sophomore. We're still young. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're young in age, but we're experienced, I think.
Right.
We've been in some battles. But remember Braylon Johnson. Steiner, of course, he was probably our leading guy this summer. He was probably our lead guy nearly every night. Every game we played, he was always a threat. I mean, Coach, he was hot also. I don't think he didn't miss many. He was around 60%.
Yeah, he's a pure shooter, which those guys don't come along very often. So when you've got one, you treasure that.
You really do, Coach. And our guys find him. They know now. Like, let's find him. Let's get him the ball. And he don't mind shooting it. And
that's good though, right?
Right.
You want a shooter to shoot, right? You don't want him to be reluctant.
And as a freshman last year, to be that, be that aggressive and not be scared to shoot, man, that was great to watch. But as a sophomore, he's less scared. I mean, he is fogging that thing. 10 feet. And here's what, at Birmingham Southern, I said, guys, you realize that 3-point line you're shooting behind is not ours. That's Birmingham. That's the college 3-point line. Oh, okay, Coach. We were shooting that thing, Coach, from 8 feet behind the 3-point line. And Steiner's a guy that can make that shot. He had a good summer, man. He had a great summer. Titus had a good summer. JoJo Odom. Brody Garrett. Brody Garrett was outstanding in the last few weeks. Man, you talking about effort. God, that guy was all over the place. But he had some defensively, like reading, and I think that's probably the football side of him.
Sure.
Reading the ball in the air, like he's really good at getting in passing lanes and getting steals, and he's a good shooter too. Like, he had a really good summer. All our guys had great summers. Clayton was Clayton. I mean,
so there's going to be a lot of excitement coming up for this season.
I think so, Coach. I think that we're going to look at a group that takes that next step. Mm-hmm. And if we don't take that next step, that's on me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take full responsibility for it, because I think we're good enough to take that next step. I think we can make a run. I really do. And if we had that guy where we say, hey, go get us a bucket, and that guy might be a couple of guys that we just mentioned. Yeah. If that guy develops, look out.
Yeah.
Look out.
Well, one other question, then we'll wrap up. So, across the years, you've grown up watching basketball. You love basketball, obviously. Is there one coach, college, professional, whatever, that you look at or has really made an impact on you in terms of your overall philosophy of basketball or love of the game? And there may be more than one, but if you can just think of one that you think back across the years and say, yeah, that's the guy that, as I was growing up, I watched him and said, I'd like to be able to coach like that guy.
Well, Bobby Knight was the guy I really liked, mm-hmm. and I wish I wouldn't have liked him so much at times, because his passion for the game was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. His acronyms and his language maybe not so, but I mean, his effort was, you cannot, number one, the guy was successful.
Sure.
The guy was amazing with his kids. Did he do the right thing all the time? No, he didn't. But I thought he was a great coach. All right, so as a young coach, that was really a guy. All right, I love Mike Krzyzewski. I think Coach K is just, I think he's ahead of his time. I think he was, you know. I love the stuff he runs. I love Mark Few. So what I like to do is take a little bit of Mark Few. I like to take a little bit of Dean Smith. I like to take a little bit of Mike Krzyzewski. And I like to combine it.
Sure.
Tom Izzo's toughness on defense, and I like to see what I can come up with. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But those are guys that I really, really watch and really study. But, you know, the character of watching you was enough. I mean that each day in 1987, getting to watch you was enough. That's what made me want to be a coach. And I can sit here and say that because you're sitting here, but no, I'm telling you the truth. You made me a lot of who I am today, and I can't thank you enough. You made me want to be a coach.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much. That highlights of teams. That first team, you were on it. You were the point guard. You made it go.
Yes.
And man, I just have so many fond memories of that year and of what you guys, the effort y'all gave and how y'all loved each other. All the things you talked about, y'all were exactly that. So it was a blessing for me in my first year to have a team like that and for us to win the only championship we could, which was the county championship,
Right.
and to have a great season. So.
It was a great season. And, you know, for my first year of my first time, for somebody to give me the keys and say, hey, you're my point guard, that was special because I don't know many guys that would give me the keys to anything,
Right.
you know, but you did, and that was special to me. And I wanted, you know, I just wanted to be more like you. And, man, you did a great job, and you were a great model.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that very much. So we wrap up every interview by signing the lead poster behind you. So if you'll do us the honor of that.
Yes, sir. Anywhere specific?
Anywhere.
Okay.
Well, Coach Burns, it has been an honor to sit down with you for a few minutes and looking forward to the season because the product that you put on the floor last year, I know is going to be the same and even better product this year because the kids have had a year to learn the system. We're looking forward to it. I know the whole city's looking forward to it and beyond. So I want to thank you for the work you put in for not just basketball, but for investing in the lives of young men, because I know that that's your heartbeat. You love coaching, but you love helping young men to grow to be young men who are going to do something with their lives that's meaningful.
Absolutely, yes.
And I appreciate that very much. So this is Greg Tinker for the lead and Coach Heath Burns saying good afternoon.
The Lead. Sponsored by Hospital Discount Pharmacy, Lavish Boutique, Lavish Coffee, Jasper Veterinary Clinic, Jasper Bone and Joint, and Carl Cannon Chevrolet Buick GMC.